how does the song make me feel? Or what does this song remind me of? Here's some case studies of my own videos to give you a reference.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head.
Believer. This was actually my first attempt at creating a music montage, but there was a reason behind it. I was first exposed to the song from the Nintendo Switch reveal trailer. No doubt an amazing song, an equally amazing trailer, though I had done some research back then on any hidden details in that trailer. And the important one to note was the theory that Nintendo chose this song for the sole purpose of telling their fans, believe in us, we're back, we're stronger than ever. This is important later on. So we fast forward, Splatoon 2, demo, test fire, whatever you want to call it. I was met with people's opinions that Splatoon 2 may not live up to its predecessor. We'd all played it, and there were some mixed opinions on how well it would do come release. And I was biased, perhaps, but I wanted to believe that this would be superior to the previous favorite game. So I set myself a goal to make a music video that would not only express my belief that this would be great, but also try to show the game through my eyes. And what better song than the very song used to prove the Switch's success? The most important thing I wanted to show was how much better the quality was. So after I was done showing off my love of all the colors the game is known to use, I went straight into slowing down that beautiful 1080p 60 frames per second. I think the idea came from the song's instrumentals. It seemed to speed up and slow down. It felt like a calm before a storm. And after showing off the new vertical flick mechanic, I broke into my favorite new mechanic, the dodging. Listen to the song pick up without the footage. You can almost picture that tension break, right? I very quickly realized that I wanted to time the splats to the song's clap sound. Though if you look carefully, I also timed other events to the clap song as well, such as camera movements or changes in playback speed. Now, looking back, something of a missed potential was the lyrics. Before the build-up starts, there's a lot of words being said, and I honestly didn't think to listen close enough to them. More on that later. When the build-up starts, this is where I realized that I want to visually build up tension along with the song by showing the moments right before the splat, only to show the splats once the beat drops. And this would be a pattern I would use in future music montages. And a fun note was the clock tick in the song. It made me think of slowing down time, which could have been a part of what led me to think that slowing down before the beat dropped was even a good idea. There's a whole second half of the song, but aside from what I've already said, it's basically a copy-paste. I won't waste your time. Though one thing to note is that I organized stages based on sections of the song. So the first half was one map, second half was another map, and there's a reason behind this, but I'm going to explain that in the second video. Remember, why? Why was this video made? To express how I felt at the time. This is important because not only will others relate to it, as they may feel the same, but also because it can help you bond with like-minded people. So we were a month away from the game's release, and I felt as though people were going to give Splatoon 2 an unfair chance at being compared to the previous game. Think of like a firstborn and secondborn sibling, kind of like a why aren't you as good as your older brother sort of thing. People tend to be more critical of things that aren't new. My goal in this video was to help people remember why they fell in love with Splatoon in the first place. I kept true to the 2-map rule, but I also learned to follow music's 4-beat rule. I think music always follows some interval of 4, so I wanted to choose only 4 matches for each half of the song, with 4 different weapons each. Everything kind of falls into place when you do it like this. I also started to experiment with more transitions by taking advantage of the fact that I would use the same map in each half. So it would appear as though my Inkling would teleport between matches in the same map, or suddenly change weapons. A key rule of thumb when trying to edit like this is to end your first scene or previous scene similar to the next scene and try to make it look as close as possible, prioritizing your focal point, which in this case is the Inkling.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out.
See you again. Again, why? I was sad. Splatoon 2 was now out for a few days and some of my fans couldn't afford it. I wouldn't be able to play with them anymore, so this song was for them. At this point, you may see a trend in the titles. See You Again was kind of symbolizing how I hope to play with them again one day. The video is a montage of all the 1v1s during an event I had with my fans, and I included some calls during the matches at the end. But I can't really say that there's much to cover in this besides the fact that the video still humbles me to this day to think that I have such beautiful fans who like to see what I make.
It's called
Switch Up Montage. Not much of a why here. It was a tribute to reaching 10,000 subscribers, though also as a thank you to the series, the Switch Up series I had created that kind of propelled the channel to that milestone. I think a part of it was also that I wasn't yet finished remembering the good times of Splatoon 1, though after making this video I felt ready to push forward with the new game completely.
I'm getting some information now that the other team is the Last Laugh, which is a bunch of Splatoon YouTubers.
Tournament. Now this might not be obvious, but the video wasn't a result of being sad. It was more of an apology to my team, the Last Laugh, that we did so horribly in that tournament. Up until this point, I had always wanted to be part of a team, but was never good enough competitively. You can kind of hear in the lyrics of the song, I wanted to express that it wasn't about the pain or losing the matches. It was about the history I had with my fellow Splatoon YouTubers, my teammates, and how much of an honor it was to fight alongside them. Alright, this is a perfect example of a failure. This video is shallow. It's showing off some editing tricks, some cool music, that's it. I can try defending myself to say I was uploading a lot during the holidays, but the fact that potential was wasted here still holds very true. If I could go back and redo this, I think I would have expressed my feelings of Christmas, like giving and family, not edgy techno mixed Christmas music. Pro. Now, this video, on the other hand, was much more intentional. The why here was to drive the lore I was starting to create between Marina and my character in the game. I was also starting to incorporate more than just the matches in the videos. The song heavily influenced the visuals as I was listening a lot more carefully to the lyrics. For instance here, I used a clip of ink on the wall to represent a grapevine, or throwing my sub-weapon with the lyrics, throw away the key. Drop it down to the ground floor as I landed on the bottom level. I get it, it might seem a little unnecessary, but with the off chance that someone might be as crazy as me would notice the comparison, maybe they'll enjoy it that much more. Even choosing Marina's expression reacting to the lyrics. Watch how she reacts to hearing the lyrics about being locked up. Later, the lyrics go on to say she doesn't take it slow, or she doesn't like to take it slow, I think. And the song then builds up and speeds up, and it led me to the idea of shedding the overused slow-mo effect. But watch how I transition during that build-up from slow to fast. That's intentional. It was to represent that I was choosing to do more than just slow-mo vids. Perhaps I was also starting to think of my channel less passively and more aggressively. I was changing, as we all do, but maybe that came out here as well.
Cold at the touch, dead in the eyes, no signs of life no more.
Black and White. Here's an amazing example of a song starting the puzzle like I mentioned earlier. Someone had recommended me to the song and I listened to it and began to see the video unfold in my mind. Of course, the idea of black and white with some color being shown was the main idea here, though aside from showing how beautiful the game is with its colors by contrasting it with lack of color, it was a fairly shallow video. Oh, and if you're wondering who had recommended the song, she's actually featured throughout the video.
There is no imminent threat. Please stay safe
Age
and
of
remain
Vian.
cautious.
Why? For those who've been here long enough, about half a year ago, a group of fans had spread the idea to change everyone, everywhere in Splatoon to my character without telling me. And I'll be honest, this shocked me. I had no idea that you guys could be this organized. So this video was in some way a nod of respect to anyone who participated. I went on to develop my own idea of a story behind why it happened, mainly because I was receiving so many messages asking me why there were so many impersonators, but more so to humor the inside joke to those who were wondering. I just gotta say, this event solidified my belief that my fans are a lot more serious about my content than I gave them credit for, which is why I played a victim in the story. I wanted to express that I underestimated them. I had trouble finding a song that would fully express this though, but I chose this song mainly because of the feeling of anarchy in the lyrics, matching the idea of fans kind of overthrowing me from my own channel. It didn't completely drive the story like I had it in my head, so I added the transitions between the songs where warning messages would escalate the lore of the song. And then as the song transitions to the more aggressive rap tone, I show the endless posts of the fans and my inkling going through a transition himself by training. The idea of fighting back and sparring with my fans really sat with me. Think of a challenge accepted mindset. This video may be demonetized, but the respect built to my fans remains, and I realized that it wasn't just me creating anymore, it was us. Time Machine was a result of having a fan who didn't have Splatoon 2 or a Switch. I said I would play with them, so I planned this video as a way to go back to the first game and record it with her, and I figured that would be a good chance to play with others. So I made a post on Twitter asking who still didn't have a Switch. Though a poll would have seemed more efficient, my purpose wasn't to find out a percentage. It was to truly know who couldn't play anymore so I could play with them. If people knew it was for a video, they might have lied, and I didn't want that. You should be able to catch most of the lyrical symbolism by now, but in general, this video had a double meaning. It was to not only respect a game that I no longer played, but also comfort any fans that I no longer was in contact with. It's a bittersweet video, but just know, if you were one of the ones who cried at the end, I also cried while editing that. Your team. Now this video was a true ending and summary of the lore I created with Off the Hook and Marina, and there's less to say about the music montage as there is to say about each and every episode of the commentary series. I can tell you that it is a love story based off real experiences that I've had in my past love life. I felt like sharing these memories could help me not only relate with my fans, but also help anyone who's kind of going through the same thing. Now, all the references are very cryptic, but my love life isn't something that I want fully criticized or judged upon. It's too personal. But for the sake of the tutorial, I think it's important to note, if you can safely relate your real life experiences into a story-driven video or series, it'll be more likely to be relatable and enjoyed by others. Stronger. As you can imagine, this video did exactly what the last one did. Summarize the series before it while cryptically hinting at my past personal experiences. Simply put, this video tries to show a transition from being taken advantage of to growing independent. But what was unique here was that both my Inkling and the other character, Bridget, was going through the exact same thing. The first half is Bridget being betrayed by Tartar, and the second half was my story. And because both of them were kind of unsure who to trust, you can see how they come together with the same kind of vision. The worst Splatoon video ever. I'm actually going to leave this video out. I may explain it one day, but I don't think it serves any more purpose for this tutorial. But one thing to note though, is leaving things up to interpretation. Although being vague can cause miscommunication, I think creatively it's very powerful in allowing the viewer to see the video as they want to see it. Because at the end of the day, these videos are all meant to serve one single purpose: to relate with others.